Well, we're now in the wrap room, which is the report all poaching room here with the DNR. We've got Assistant Chief of Law Enforcement Dean Molner with us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir.
All right, now we've been in the wrap room before and had a chance to kind of take a look at it. Explain how this operation works.
Sure. This is a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year operation, Tim. We've got, as you can see, we've got our dispatchers out here, and they are taking calls coming in from the public. And when a call comes in, an operator will, kind of at the screen behind me, fill out this form. They're going to ask for a lot of information. Of course, the more detailed information we get, the better off the case the officer can make. But again, we man this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so somebody can call in. A lot of times people will see something during the day that maybe when they get home call in. But with the advent of cell phones now, it's almost immediate. They can call right in from the field.
And probably the big key is where are you located, and that way you can kind of match an officer within that area.
That's correct. I mean, as you know, we're downtown Lansing. We're on the 7th floor of the Mason building. However, with our radio system that we have, it's an 800 megahertz system that goes statewide. We can talk to somebody over on the west end of the UP like you and I are sitting here talking here. So this is where we dispatch all the information out to all the districts, because what we do is, if it comes into, let's say, a Siegel County, okay, complaint comes in for Siegel County, the operator is going to go to our screen, and we know who's working, when they're working, and they'll be able to match the closest officer to that complaint to get that information as fast out in the field as we can.
Well, and one of the things I think a lot of people know statewide, and that is funding is down, not as many officers out in the field, and so that makes it even more important for people that are outdoorsmen and outside helping you guys out.
Absolutely, because you know, we have the great pleasure of working for the department, okay, as conservation officers. However, the fish and game and the resources of the state belong to the people. You know, we work for the people of the state of Michigan, so we need their help. And that's why we have this 800 line that they can call in, and they can be our eyes and ears. All right, again, with cell phones and with, they can take photos, they can get information, a license plate number, description, time of date, place, all that type of things, and then call it in to us. Never, ever do we want somebody to take any enforcement action on their own. You know, I really want to stress that. Be our eyes and ears, but again, it's everybody's resources, and we all need to work together to protect them.
Dean, let's talk a little bit about some of the stories and complaints. I know you had something in Aranac before, last year with a complaint, and it wasn't just one person. We had a kind of a combination. Explain that to me.
Right, well, that one came in, that was actually in Aranac where you wouldn't think a bear complaint would come in. Somebody witnessed somebody shoot a bear off of a combine. Okay, or at least they thought it was a bear. You know, again, so they called it in, our officers investigated, and actually that ended up being 3 people were charged with that one, because one person actually did shoot a bear off a combine. Another took possession of the parts, of the hide and the claws and things like that, and another person took the meat. So 3 people were actually charged in that one. You know, and it's a matter of, we get all kinds of calls in here. I mean, anywhere from, I've got a person trespassing on my property, or I think somebody may be doing something illegal. If you think you've got a complaint and there's something there, give us a call. You know, we took over 6,100 complaints last year, you know, and many of those resulted in arrest.
All right, so here's a big question, though, for people out there. When should I not call the wrap room?
Sure. You know, again, over 6,100 complaints came in here, but we get an awful lot more calls in here, too. What we suggest that if you've got let's say I want to know, what's the fishing like in Lake whatever, someplace, let's say up in Antrim County. You know, go to our website, and that's actually, Antrim County's out of the Gaylord District. You know, call the Gaylord Operations Service Center, you know, for that local specialized kind of information, because again, we're down in Lansing down here, and our operators don't really know that type of information. So we'd like to have them call the Operations Service Center when you have an informational question. And then you can we can get you to a wildlife biologist or a fisheries biologist, you know, to whatever your question may be. But if they're in doubt, you know, should I call or shouldn't I call? Call us. We want our folks to call us. You know, so if they're not sure if it's a complaint or not, or even if they're not sure where to go, don't hesitate to call us here.
Another thing that people might not be aware of, and that is you do have a rewards program that goes along with this.
Oh, absolutely. And this is something that we've had for a long time. Report All Poaching hotline can get you some reward money, you know, depending on the case and, you know, how much involvement the person gives us. You know, it depends on how much we're going to pay them out. But we encourage people, and, you know, honestly, most people call in aren't in it for the reward.
Right.
Some people are, and some people really deserve it because they go out of their way to really help us protect the resource.
So you can be involved here with helping the conservation in the state of Michigan. The RAP line is available, again, as he said, 24/7. And the big thing, too, to remind people is you can remain anonymous.
Absolutely. If you choose so, you can remain anonymous. We can get the information. We'll get it out to an officer that you won't be contacted. Because a lot of folks, are calling because it's maybe a relative or somebody they know.
Right.
And they're really hesitant. Our officers are professionals, and they know how to handle those situations. I mean, we've been doing it a long time, so you can call, you can leave that anonymous, or if you do want to say, hey, I'll give you my information, but you can't, you got to help me here because it's a relative, let's say. Our officers can work with that person on that.
And I will let everybody know, too, that we are a big proponent of this on the Q1 buck poll. And if anybody is poached a deer or anything when it comes to, not taking it legally, we make sure that we are in contact with the DNR. Of course, we have a lot of officers that look at the buck poll, the site, and see when deer were taken and all that type of thing because, again, we feel that it's a part of the stewardship out there.
Absolutely, and we appreciate your support.
All right, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, Assistant Chief of Law Enforcement Dean Molner has been with us, and that's your DNR segment from the Rap Room here in Lansing. You're watching the Q1 Buck Poll.